Sanders, what do you think?
I think he's a heck of a football player. I think he's calm. He's in control. He's got a tremendous arm, very accurate. Appears to be very smart. With what he's doing, he's running the show. He's setting the protections. Um, he understands matchups. Knows what he's doing with it. He's a heck of a football player. I mean, there aren't too many better than him out there.
He's doing a good job of harassing quarterbacks. Maybe not getting the sack, but making them uncomfortable, move around. He's pretty experienced at that, and plus he's a run threat. So does that change how you approach this?
We've dealt with guys that can extend plays before. I always say there's two camps of guys. There's the guys that are gonna get out and scramble. When they get out of the pocket, they're gone, and you gotta find them. And then there's the guys that are gonna scramble to buy time to throw. And to me, that's where they're at their most dangerous offensively, is when he's extending plays, because I think their receivers do a really good job in the scramble rules. I think he's very accurate throwing on the move. And so if you broke down, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but if you broke down where their explosive plays are coming from, it's because of his ability to extend plays. And that's how they've made their hay for a long time.
Can you take anything from how you guys prepared for Noah Fafita in Arizona a few weeks ago? Are they two completely different?
A little different. One of the things we gauge is kind of the average depth of the drop back. And sometimes Noah Fafita was the kind of a guy that would throw a ball from 16 yards and just drift and made it hard to get there. And whereas Shedeur, I feel like, is a guy that's going to more step up, slide out, move around. He's a little more diverse in what his stuff is. And no offense to Fafita, but he was a shorter guy. He probably needed to do it that way. And whereas Shedeur is a bigger body that can step up and probably hurt you in more ways in the pocket.
Travis Hunter played both ways, and he's been really good at wide receiver this year. What have you seen from him?
Well, I was hoping he was just going to play corner. I don't know. He's the number one thing that jumps out to me with him is his ball skills are elite. I mean, he's got just incredible ball skills. If there's a 50-50 ball, he's got a better than 50% chance of getting it. I'll say that. And the other thing is he plays really hard. A guy that plays as many snaps as he does, you wouldn't think that he would go as hard as he does all the time, but he does. He's got he plays hard. He's a competitive guy, and really, really competitive when the ball's in his vicinity.
Focused on McMillan from Arizona, and they had other good receivers, but Colorado's got some serious weapons beyond Travis Hunter.
Yeah, it's not a one-trick pony. They're one pony show, I should say. They got a whole crew of them that can hurt you. I'd say there's four, guys that come to my head that all have their own set of skills that are unique and make them dangerous. So it's a little more difficult, you bet, to do things and move your coverages around people, or positions. So he's, this is a good skill group for sure.
I know their offensive coordinator comes from the NFL. He was an NFL offensive coordinator for a long time. Do you see sort of NFL tendencies or schemes that he's sort of brought over from his time in the NFL?
I do, yeah. When you look at Colorado a year ago and what they were doing offensively, they tried to manufacture a lot of things with tempo. They tried to manufacture some things with formations. They tried to that was their MO. And since he's been the guy, you can clearly see that it's more about matchups. It's more about there's less formations. There's less, and they're just trying to manufacture ways to get matchups. And that's, to me, that's the NFL football. And that's absolutely, I can see that in what they do.
Klanderman said he was hopeful to have Uso back. Has he had a good week of practice?
He has. He's been running around quite a bit the last couple of days. I would expect that he'll be able to go.
How important is he to how this defense line operates?
He's huge. Yeah, he's huge in a game like this. Asher Tomaszewski's had a good week of practice. Malcolm Elkhorn Crowder's been up, and he's improved this week. But the thing that Uso gives us from that spot, and Damian does a great job too, but Uso's such a twitchy pass rusher. And in a game like this, that the ball's going to be in the air more than it's not, he's a guy that we'd love to have. And so having him back's a big piece.
You mentioned for a team that doesn't run the ball as much. How important is this to still try and take away the running game?
Yeah,
and
that's.
make them one-dimensional?
I think they've been a little bit more committed to it the last couple of weeks, and it's funny because when you watch how defenses kind of tried to attack these guys, it was getting and probably this is the reason is they were starting to just get into some exotic things. When you watch the Nebraska game and stuff, it didn't even look like base down defense out there, and so I think that's probably when they recommitted to the run a little bit, and they ran the ball effectively, I thought, against Central Florida. They ran the ball effectively at times against Nebraska because of those fronts and things, probably. And so, it's not just a total chuck it all over fest. I mean, they're playing football.